To start with, I thought it was a cigarette butt, but actually, it looks like a hand or a foot, but it looks like it's also possibly holding something. What do you think, Mum? Is it holding something?
Oh, I think it's like on the ground.
On the ground, yeah.
That's super cute.
It's adorable. I thought it was a cigarette
Oh, I
butt.
wonder if I could put that. Oh, it's a hand, not a foot, isn't it?
It's a hand on a foot. Randomly next to the bath. Oh,
Is it broken?
that's why.
There's another bottle there too.
There is another bottle. What's this one? Struve. Oh my goodness. Okay, no, I want this bottle. Wow. Look at the beautiful on the other side.
Oh my goodness. And it's not broken.
And it's not broken. I saw this and it said Struve. But then look. It's got a beautiful lion. Appointed royal by appointment. There's all sorts of words. And the unicorn. The lion and the unicorn. Got beautiful embossing as well. What a stunning bottle. Ooh. Suppose it would be cold. Oh, it is! Wow. What a beautiful hexagonal. No, not hexagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4. This heptagonal. Oh, and it's embossed on the bottom. What a beautiful little ink. Wow, okay. Let's see what else we can find.
This bottle hole. Might be. It's caught under a... Oh, it is. Oh, no, it's not. It's a broken bottom. You see it?
I can. I think it is broken.
Oh, well, I'll add it to the broken.
There's got some stuff here. It's just whether or not any of it's whole.
GLS fireproof. It's a shame. Dalton's approved footwear. There's loads of stuff here. What can we find? Oh, I'd missed the dump. Oh, that was a very big butterfly. Well, there is a jar, but I don't think I'd like to get all the roots that are inside it out. Look at that! Wow. That's quite funny. It's broken in a speech bubble shape. So I shall definitely be taking that for a craft.
No way! Oh, we just watched a video.
That's mad.
Oh my word!
I think they were from bonsai figures. They were figures that little things that were put in bonsai trees, because bonsai trees were really popular in the Victorian time as well.
Yeah, and this one's not. It doesn't look like it was off of anything.
No.
Sorry, the Northern Mudlarks found a tiny little pagoda-esque house in a film recently, and now we've got one. Ours is glazed though. It's like a red glazed roof and blue glazed bottom. It's absolutely.
Well, they make things like
adorable.
bonsais, stuff, things like that for bonsais now. So.
They do, yeah. I think I have some. I've got like little Spirited Away Studio Ghibli ones for my plants. It's got a beautiful, like it's got painted like doors and windows too. Green and yellow.
Adorable.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it.
awful lot of very melted bottles here. Look at this lump.
It's it's one of those, they might have a name, but it's a candle holder. Probably, oh, so it doesn't look, it would have had a handle and you would have held it like that, although it's very large. I assume that's what it is. I think I'm going to take it to use it as one of those. It's beautiful. Vulcanite. Plain, so I might leave it for another mudlark. Super adorable. But I have so many. But I think I see something over here that I've not seen before personally. I think it's the top of a stoneware flagon, but it's got a vulcanite stopper in it. So let's see if the stopper's got anything on it. It does. I think it says weathered, and it's very cool, but I don't really want to separate it from the top, so I might leave it for someone else, as we've got so many vulcanites, the same as that one. We've just got so many now that, and we've got plenty to give away as well and use for crafting, so it just might be nice if other people, oh look, there's more of that. There's another vulcanite. Glass time, in glass this time though.
I'm actually having trouble containing my excitement. I'm sorry, but I've just seen this. I don't know if you can see it, but I went to see what that other thing was, and oh, that's a pipe bowl. Nothing on it, but oh, he is adorable. Okay. Look, he's shamed. Oh, he's got like a spot on him. What are you? Apart from beautiful. Oh, I've got to show Kate.
Oh my word!
How adorable is he? He's wearing a little outfit.
He's got a little jacket on. Oh my word!
It's such a shame he's lost his arms.
Oh, but oh my goodness!
This is why I miss dumps.
This is amazing. Oh my gosh! Oh my god, that's absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness!
I'm with a little
Look at my
house.
tiny house.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just feet upwards.
Oh!
It's got a lot of writing on it. It says this bottle is, yeah, the property of W. Sharp & Co. Croydon. It's a really beautiful encaustic tile. And then next to it is a ceramic pipe bowl. It's odd. Kate just pointed out it's not a pipe because it doesn't have a hole in it. But that looks like a pipe. Maybe it was a advertising thing or something. It really does. Yeah.
That's cool. Could be something. It's a foot. It's a foot with very detailed toes. Just a foot, nothing else. That's so funny.
It's a tiny, weeny, itsy bitsy bottle. Piece by stem. And a bottle. And she's walking on ahead of me and finding all the cool things.
See a bottle that I'm going to investigate. It will be broken, but I'm investigating. Unfortunately, it is broken, which is annoying because it's beautiful. think. Oh, that's a shame. Do you suppose that's going to be a pig or a rabbit leg? Is it literally just going to be... Oh, so there's... I see... Is the rest of him here? No. Oh, look.
Is it the bottom of a rabbit?
I think it's a pig. It is a pig. It's got the curly tail.
Well, we've got pig's heads.
We do have pig's heads, and it's got one trotter. Oh, it's a little pig.
The rest of it's not there then.
The rest of it. Oh, look, and... Oh. Oh, she was one of those sunshine ones, look. Oh, wow.
What is it?
It's a doll head, but
Oh,
all
is it
missing.
whole or broken?
I think I'd be a bit more excited if it was whole. Look how beautiful this piece of enamel is. Look at the flowers. That is so beautiful. If my bag wasn't already so full, I'd probably take it. Oh my word, is it going to be a whole another acorn pipe? It is, although it's super tiny.
It's also had like really broken, like right off of...
Yeah, completely off of the curved bit of the stem. It looks more like an acorn because it's like a thin...
That's beautiful. It's weird, we both found our favourite things.
We have, yeah. Oh my word, it's a different acorn pipe. Wow, I absolutely love it. Oh my gosh. Oh, I've missed a dump.
I know. It looks like everything's covered in a sea of seeds.
I know, it's beautiful, it's going everywhere.
I've never seen anything like it.
No!
Where's it all coming from? Quite a lot of it has gone up my nose. But look at this melted bovril. It's also magical. This looks like a little, like, wizard's, oh my goodness. Okay, I've been teaching myself bird sounds, but I didn't recognise that one. There's another melted bottle. Look at that one. Oh my goodness. What a funny little shape.
Love the candle. Yeah. He's discovered it. We went back to a bottle dump that we visited at Halloween last year, and we thought we'd go back for another look because we've been missing bottle dumps, and it was beautiful. There was like a strange phenomenon of the seeds of a tree, and it carpeted the floor, and it was
magical. It was,
It's floating everywhere.
yeah, it was.
And it rained the next day, so
Yeah.
all those seeds would have been not gone from there. They would
they
have
were
been
a bit
off.
fluffy.
It wouldn't be fluffy anymore.
So it was sort of fleeting. It was yeah.
And we found some wonderful things on top of that.
Yeah.
So
And we didn't find much, but the bits that we did find, some of them are amazing. What's your favourite find?
definitely my tiny little house. I think this is one of my most favourite finds ever.
You say that about a lot of things.
I do. It's got little windows and a door painted on it. And it's glazed red, blue, yellow and green. And it's tiny. And it's just the most adorable little house. So Mum suggested that this could have been a little bonsai figurine. But we did some research about bonsais in Victorian times, and during the Victorian era there was a bonsai exhibition at the Paris World's Fair in 1878, and then it said the next major exhibition of bonsai in the Western world for which there is historical provenance was in London, England in 1909. The best known exhibition of that era was at the 1915 Pan-Pacific Exposition in San Francisco, California. So they definitely they became popular around 1900. So yeah, ours could be on that. It looks like.
It definitely looks like sort of, it looks very much like the ones by today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get little people as well and things. Make little scenes under your bonsais. I can't really think what else it would be.
No. It's not like a toy, is it?
No. And it's not like for a doll's house.
No.
I mean, I suppose maybe they could have had tiny figurines, just, Victorians loved that sort of knicky-knackiness, but it doesn't look old enough to be Victorian.
No.
Like you said, it could be like 1900s or very late Victorian.
Mm-hmm. But I absolutely love it.
And we can put it in the doll's house.
And we can put it in the doll's house as a tiny doll's house.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, with the kid, with the little boy that's playing marbles. So we've also added our tiny sea glass marbles as some toys in the upstairs. Do I have to ask what your favourite find is?
No, it's practically one of the only things I did find, but I don't mind about that because it's my little boy. He is amazing. He has such a detailed face, which I didn't know at the time because he was completely covered in mud. And his tiny feet. Unfortunately, his arms are broken, but I think he was holding something, maybe, because his hand just sort of ended in a lump, and he's got like a break on his leg. So, is he a doll? Or is he a figure? I mean, he doesn't stand up on his own.
So he can't be a figure, because
So
he'd
he
be
is a doll.
pretty useless figure.
Yeah, so I don't know what he would have held. It's very odd. But yeah, he is probably a doll then. But he's also wearing like Georgian clothing. His trousers are the sort that like button down the front because they didn't have zips, and it was easier to have a wee. But yeah, so he could be older than Victorian, or he could have made. Oh, here's the cat.
Here he comes.
I thought he'd. But he's got this strange blue blob on his leg. But if anybody knows anything about him, with his little brown jacket and his beautiful face.
My second favourite find is my acorn clay pipe bowl. So yeah, this is the second acorn clay pipe I've ever found, but it is very different to the one I found before. So yeah, the one I found before is much more detailed and a different shape.
That's the half I found too.
Yeah, it's the same as the half Mum found. But this one is almost more realistic of an acorn, because that is the shape. It's like thin, which is the shape of acorns. I don't have one here to show you.
We've got felted
We've
ones.
felted acorns. But I've never found a bowl where it's been so cleanly snapped off of the stem before.
You and the candle cat.
But it's absolutely adorable, and I was so very excited to find it. And I'm just building an acorn pipe collection. And if you've watched our channel before, you know that I have an unhealthy obsession with acorns. So now that I have 2 acorn pipes, and that they're different, it's very, very exciting to me. I absolutely love it. It is a shame that it's a bit battered. It's seen some things, but I absolutely love it anyway.
Talking about pipes, I picked up this and I thought it was a ceramic pipe, and then Kate pointed out that it doesn't have a hole.
Also, I don't think ceramic pipes are a thing.
No, I know. That's why
Okay.
I sounded so surprised when I picked it up. But I think if you pass me that other pipe, I mean, it's the shape of a pipe. It's like a Bakelite. It's the shape of a pipe. I've got a feeling that it comes off an advertising figurine or something.
This is the sort, yeah. I swear we had, because
We
look,
do,
you can even
somewhere
see,
I can't find
you
it.
see here this like
Pointy bits.
pointy
yeah.
bit, and then you look here, it's the same on the actual bowl.
But we have got one somewhere that looks like
It
that.
looks
haven't we?
exactly like
know,
that.
but
I mean,
can't
this one
find
is pretty close.
it. Yeah.
So yeah, we're thinking maybe this was a...
It's like the Magritte pipe, isn't it, from the painting?
Yes. So yeah, that's very cool.
It is. It's quite interesting, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I mean, the inside of it was painted black to look like charred inside of a pipe too. So that would, if anybody's seen an advertising thing with a pipe, I'd be intrigued.
I found my little pig with his little curly tail and his little hoop trotters, and we're thinking that he was probably stood upright, but he doesn't stand up.
It's really
There's
odd.
no way. So I'm thinking maybe he was like hanging, or
Or
his
he was
arm
part
was
of another.
attached to something.
Or this one was attached to. It could have been like the Three Little Pigs or something. Or,
Yeah. But we do have a pig head,
which is on the side too.
which is also facing the side at an angle, but here is our little running pig. Yeah, I like him a lot. I might combine them. There's Big
Well,
Bus.
noisy bus.
The pig. Found a broken doll's leg that we can put a foot on and use to make a doll. Found a broken doll's face, which I thought this was mud, and I left it in there because I thought that the eyes could possibly be in it.
But it's good. It's
But it's
concretion. I
actually
can't get it out.
a metal concretion, and it can't come out. But I sort of
Don't. You like it.
like it. So yeah, German bisque. Little doll, whose face is unfortunately long gone. Mum's pretty piece of pottery that to me looks a bit like a scene, almost like a desert, like with hills,
Hills. It looks like
mountains.
hills.
Yeah. I think the rays make me think it's like sun rays, like a desert, because it looks
Could be.
hot. I mean, I'm not sure it is. But
No, I
that's
know.
what I think.
I like this piece because of the two ladies with the umbrella. Speech bubble.
A tiny hand, it's sort of like almost like a baby would have been crawling, you know, like hands on the hands and knees, holding what could be a rattle or a flower or something, but I'm sure it will come in very handy for a craft one day.
Yeah, little hands are very useful.
Mum's speech bubble.
I can't believe it's broken so perfectly into a speech bubble.
It's very cool, and it will definitely come in handy one day. Is it glass? Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Sort of looks like melted glass, but inside it doesn't. Well, it's very cool.
Be quite nice, like in a shadow box or something, wouldn't it?
Would be, definitely.
Tiny bottle.
Tiny little bottle. Always handy. In the film I said this was heptagonal, but it's octagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's definitely 8.
Yes, of course it is. So yep, another one for the ink collection. They're just such beautiful colours and shapes. I really do like these. And I wasn't expecting it to pop out of the ground hole.
So it's an odd place there, wasn't it?
It was.
You just find things lying around.
And then we have our Struve bottle.
It's a bit sick.
It's a little bit sick. It's got a crown top and a little star on the neck, which is adorable. And it says, by appointment, and the lion and the unicorn.
And the Prince of Wales feathers.
And the Prince of Wales feathers. But the embossing is absolutely beautiful.
It's such a shame it's so sick.
And it's got a H at the bottom, and that is Hooper Struve. And I have some history about Hooper Struve. So Hooper Struve is from Brighton, and in the 18th century there were lots of people in Brighton that thought that Brighton suffered because it didn't have a traditional spa. Apparently there was a small spa at St Anne's Well Gardens in Hove, but lots of people felt that it was too far away from the resort's fashionable centre. So a German doctor called Frederick Struve had the notion of starting a more impressive spa in the open space later to be called Queen's Park. Unfortunately, the new one was almost as far away as the one in Hove, and the water was pumped from a deep well in Brighton and wasn't from a spring like most spas was, and wasn't very particularly special water. But Dr. Struve decided that he would add chemicals that he said he used to use in the great spas of his home country, Germany, and visitors could choose which one suited them. But apparently the medical profession generally had a high opinion of Dr. Struve's spa, and Dr. William King said, "Dr. Struve has introduced among us one of the greatest blessings which this country has ever known."
Oh.
Yeah. So he did his best to make the spa imposing, and it had an impressive classical facade and a pump room full of pillars and luxurious seats. But in the end, it couldn't really compare with all of the other amazing spas in England, such as Bath and Cheltenham, let alone those in continental Europe. Dr. Struve still got patronage by the king, then William IV, and called his creation the Royal German Spa. And the king and Queen Adelaide made occasional visits to the spa, much to the delight of the doctor and local residents. And lots of fashionable people went, and it was quite a successful business in the 1830s and continued to operate until the 1880s. And when the popularity dropped and eventually people stopped sort of going, they merged with an English firm called Hooper, and the site at Brighton became a factory for bottling water. Hooper Struve then became one of Britain's biggest soft drinks companies and continued production in Brighton until as late as 1963. The spa then became derelict, and Brighton Council started demolishing lots of lovely buildings, and the residents in the Queen's Park area made a stand against the demolition because there were plans to build a casino on the site, and that fight lasted about 7 years. And eventually the old pump room was demolished because it was in an appalling state. But the pleasing classical facade was restored, and the building was given a new lease of life as a nursery school. So yeah, this is a Hooper and Struve bottled water bottle, and it's appointment to the king, so it's 1901 to 1952. This bottle probably between those two dates, I imagine.
Yeah, because it's a crown top and the seam goes all the way to the top, doesn't it? So
Yes.
it's probably later,
Mhm.
1920s, 30s, pretty
Probably.
much. Well, everything we find.
But it's absolutely beautiful, and yeah, the German spa in Brighton. And as you've seen throughout this video, this is now a nice candle holder. And it's enamel, and it has just the barest bit of blue around the edge.
It's very utilitarian.
It's very utilitarian. It looks like it should be on the side of in a hospital. But it's beautiful, and I love it. It's beautiful, I love it, and I'm going to put it in my bedroom next to my bed. What did you call it? A wee willy winky?
A wee willy winky.
A candlestick holder.
Because it would have had a handle somewhere.
Yeah, we have some.
We've got one somewhere, I don't know where it is.
But yeah. And one last piece of
What I found.
what we end the video on is this very unassuming broken white cup that Mum picked up just to look at, because it had something written in Latin in it, and neither me or Mum
Speak Latin, strangely.
Yeah, no, not at all. So we picked it up to see what it says, and Mum ended up down a rabbit hole.
A giant rabbit
This
hole.
week,
A fascinating rabbit
I
hole.
will let her tell you all about it.
A writer called Arthur Machen published a story called The Bowman on the 29th of September 1914. It was a story about how St George, accompanied by angels, horsemen and medieval cavalry, came to the aid of the retreating expeditionary force during a time of difficulty for the latter in 1914. Although the Battle of Mons was not actually mentioned in the story, a belief was rapidly spread that the story was based in fact and related directly to the apparent miracle at Mons, which I will talk about in a moment. The connection to our cup comes in the following paragraph from the Bowman. "World without end, amen," said one of the British soldiers with some irrelevance as he took aim and fired. And then he remembered. He says he cannot think why or wherefore a queer vegetarian restaurant in London, where he had once or twice eaten eccentric dishes of cutlets made of lentils and nuts that pretended to be steak. On all the plates in this restaurant there was printed a figure of St George in blue with the motto Adist Anglis Sanctus Georgius. May St George be a present help to the English. This soldier happened to know Latin and other useless things, and now, as he fired at his man in the grey advancing mass, 300 yards away, he uttered the pious vegetarian motto. He went on firing to the end, and at last Bill, on his right, had to clout him cheerfully over the head to make him stop. For as the Latin scholar uttered his invocation, he felt something between a shudder and an electric shock pass through his body. The roar of the battle died down in his ears to a gentle murmur. Instead of it, he says he heard a great voice and a shout louder than the thunder peal, crying, "Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!" His heart grew hot as a burning coal. It grew cold as ice within him, as it seemed to him that a tumult of voices answered to his summons. He heard, or he seemed to hear, thousands shouting, "St George! St George!" And as the soldier heard these voices, he saw before him beyond the trench a long line of shapes with a shining about them. They were like men who drew their bow, and with another shout their cloud of arrows flew singing and tingling through the air towards the German hosts. Lots of people thought that Arthur Machen used the Angel of Mons as the inspiration for his story, The Bowman. the Angel of the Mons was experienced by British troops retreating in the aftermath of the Battle of the Mons on the Western Front in August 1914. Numerous soldiers claimed to have seen visions in the sky of St George surrounded by angels, horsemen and cavalry. These visions were subsequently charitably attributed to extreme tiredness of the British troops, most of whom had not slept in days. The only link between Mons and Machen's story was its beginning, which observed that troops of the British Expeditionary Force were in retreat. Mons itself was never mentioned. Bizarrely, though, the veterans of the battle subsequently lent support to Machen's story, ensuring that the apparent visions took on a legendary quality both during and after the war. For a while, towards the end of 1914 and into 1915, many people in Britain apparently gave Machen's story some credence, somewhat to the embarrassment of the latter, who repeatedly denied any element of his story, writing, "This story itself is nothing," a stance which merely heaped sceptical disbelief upon Machen. If nothing else, however, the fantasy nevertheless proved a remarkable morale booster in Britain at a time when military success on the battlefield was proving elusive. And that's such a strange story, and we don't know if our cup is actually from that fictional restaurant and Machen saw it, or, I mean, it's not quite blue, it's sort of slaty grey colour, but it could have been discoloured in the soil, or we don't actually know the true origins of the cup. But it is quite funny that we put in the Latin and the whole story comes out, and there are no other mentions of the Latin phrase. So, I mean, there was a St George's Hospital, but we saw a St George's Hospital cup of the same era, and it just said St George's Hospital. So this is a mysterious cup, and it might be the missing part of this fictitious story. And to prove that Machen did draw elements of truth into his story, it's quite it's fascinating.
So that was our film. I hope you enjoyed, and we just have to again say a massive thank you to all of our wonderful donors, our Patreons. There's a new film coming up sometime this week, and yeah, thank you for everything, for subscribers. We're like less than 50 away from 10,000 now, and we've got some quite exciting films coming up, so so if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. See you next Sunday.
This is the tree.
I think there's a couple, but yeah.
Well, one of the trees. All the fluff's coming from.
It's working hard at spreading itself.
It really is.
It really is like where the spiders... Is it Mirkwood in The Hobbit, where everything's covered in spider webs? It's just like that.